What's up, Design family, and welcome back to another episode of FittDesign TV. So glad to have you guys back on the channel. On today's episode, I'll be running you guys through my top 10 creative ways to market yourself to get your name out there as a fashion brand in 2023. This is specifically for you guys that are just starting off and essentially you have a limited budget and you don't have an existing customer base that you can tap into. So if you're wondering what these 10 creative ways are, well, watch this episode. You guys are about to find out. Welcome to FittDesign TV. Are you interested in sports fashion, design, and manufacturing? Are you establishing your own brand? You're looking good. Anthony, how are we doing? Do you want to? Thank you. Well, you've come to the right place. Lights, camera, action. Number one on the list is going to be create organic viral content specifically on TikTok. Obviously, we know that TikTok is an option, but when it comes to these specific types of content you want to create here, it's going to be a little bit less polished than your Instagram Reels and your YouTube Shorts. Why specifically? Well, you'll have to look at the way that content is distributed when it comes to these different platforms. On TikTok, the algorithm is going to favor specifically more organic, more laid back content that is less curated, and it's going to allow it to sort of be distributed in a way that is in line with the core customers that might want to be engaging with your content. So unlike Instagram, unlike YouTube, where the type of content or the type of people that are drawn towards your content are people within your existing sphere, it's really going to be about the story, the narrative, the actual footage that you include in your piece that's going to get your TikTok out there. So this gives you a unique opportunity to reach more eyeballs and ultimately reach people that might not have heard of you before, or if you're starting off, chances are these people will not have heard of you. So it's going to put you on equal footing as a brand with maybe 10x or 20x the type of following that you might have. Don't underestimate creating this casual content. And when it comes to how to approach this, I always like to look at TikTok as being extremely narrative driven. You need to be able to create something that can stimulate people's emotions and ultimately people can relate to on a fundamental level. So as a fashion brand, it's not really about portraying your product. It's more about portraying the narrative or the emotional response you want to evoke behind your product. Number two is going to be create Instagram Reels. So we've already mentioned that you should be creating content on TikTok, but when it comes to Instagram Reels, this type of content should be a little bit more polished. What I notice works really well on Instagram is going to be different than what works well on TikTok. Specifically here, you want to be using hashtags to be able to tag your content into a specific sphere. This is going to allow for wider discovery of the content you're creating, and ultimately it's going to bring the right type of people to you. So what type of content should you be creating on Instagram? It should still have a very sort of entertainment focused approach, but it can be a little bit more educational driven. It can also be of higher quality and a bit more polished in terms of the finished content. The type of content we expect on platforms like this is going to be different than on TikTok, right? People are expecting a certain level, a certain curation, a certain portfolio-like-esque appeal to it. So definitely here, you're going to want to be posting slightly less, but in general, the types or the pieces of content are going to be more creatively driven. They're going to be more technically driven, especially. So you can look at incorporating VFX. You can look at actually scripting the types of content that you want to create. You can look at product showcases. You can look at high quality cinematography. All of this is going to go a long way towards actually creating or positioning your piece of content to be able to allow it to go viral. So when comparing TikTok is all about the narrative, right? It's all about the emotional response. It's all about what is in the piece and the people that are acting out in the piece. This is also what TikTok tends to drive versus Instagram. It's much more about, sure, the narrative, the production quality, but it's a lot more about as well the niche that you're in and sort of the type of content that you're creating. So use hashtags on Instagram and definitely let TikTok do its thing when it comes to analyzing what footage is in your actual piece, what text is in your piece, and allowing that to distribute it out into the algorithm and out to potential viewers. Number three on the list is going to be YouTube Shorts. This is a extremely underrated space and it's a lot of free real estate. So why do I typically like to see YouTube Shorts? Well, number one is most people are not creating these types of shorts. Most people are focusing their attention on Instagram. They're focusing their attention on TikTok. You rarely see fashion brands with an established YouTube platform, specifically because the type of content that is meant to go on YouTube is typically a lot more long form. It's more educational, it's more involved. So the actual players that are in the space are far, far fewer, which gives you an opportunity to stand out. And why I specifically like YouTube Shorts is not only because of the opportunity, but it also gives you a way to actually direct people towards your longer forms of content. So as a fashion brand, I would be creating a behind the scenes, I would be creating a behind the design. I'd be giving more technical insights into my product. So here you can be entertaining, but you can also be more educational. You can take a moment to actually educate your customers on the product, on the features, on the benefits that they're getting, right? You have a bit more breathing room that you don't have on other platforms to really go into the details that you strongly believe are going to set your brand apart. Number 4 on the list is take the time to actually release products that have an inherently viral nature in them. So when you're releasing products, most of your products are going to be a great representation of your brand and your unique selling points. But one of your products or two of your products can specifically be created to have a viral nature in them. So what is the difference here? The products that you would consider as being your core component of product are going to be a little bit more vanilla in that sense, right? They should still be special, they should still be unique, but they're going to be aimed more at the general consumer versus a truly nature or a truly viral product by nature is going to be aimed at polarizing people, right? It's going to be aimed at polarizing customers. And what you want to do with this virality is use this product as a way of engaging customers. Great products that are good representations of this might be those sort of TikTok leggings that you've seen, right? They have this illusion effect where they have this diamond-like knitted grid pattern that really shapes the body, and it's very, very viral, and it's not really something that you would expect to be worn on a day-to-day basis, but because of how viral it is in nature, because of how polarizing it is as a design, it's been able to grow and to be able to rise above the noise. Another one that is truly viral in nature has been this Lululemon full zip jacket that obviously people are positioning as a product that's meant to enhance a lot of your features. And just that small detail of zipping up the garment and completely changing the body in the process of doing that gives this product its viral nature, which leads it to be shared, which leads it to be shared on various platforms for people to want to create content with this piece and ultimately for it to want to sell out. So definitely look at creating pockets of virality, look at creating polarizing moments that can engage people and can actually encourage people to want to share them in your clothes with other people. This is what creates that natural distribution, that natural growth in your business. Number 5 is engage in influencer marketing, but not the typical influencer marketing where you're trying to find the biggest and baddest and most popular influencer in your space. Here, it's about being a bit more specific, right? As a starting fashion brand, you can't afford to be working with an influencer that has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. So what do you do instead? Number 1 is understand your niche, right? You need to understand what category of fashion that you're actually aiming at. Because when you understand your niche, you can also look at the types of influencers that are in that space. And the more specific you can get, the more specific the influencer that you can actually reach out to. And my definite recommendation for this would be, number 1, actually make sure that you engage with someone that you're aligned with, right? That has similar values, that has a similar outlook on the industry, that is a good representation of how you want your brand to be perceived. Also look at someone that has an engaged following. These are typically going to be people with a smaller following, right? Think about the athlete with 5 million followers on Instagram. Yes, they're going to have a wide reach, but because of the variety in their customers or the people that follow them, the level of engagement or the level of depth of connection is going to be far less than that of someone with 10,000, 15,000 followers that is a lot more engaged, that's creating content that's specifically curated towards the people that is following them. So reach out to these people, position your company as a long-term prospect, as someone that they can align with, as someone that is a true representation of how they see themselves, and then offer them to send them free product in a way that is very, very, let's just say, not pushy. It's all about developing a relationship that transcends just the financial aspect, about saying, listen, you're someone that I align with, you're someone that I respect in terms of the content, the message that you're putting out there, and I'd love to see you in our clothing. And if you want to share that, amazing. If you don't want to share that, that's also your prerogative. Really, this organic type of relationship building is what I've personally seen to be working the best, right? When people have a genuine interest in the brand that you're building, they're going to be more willing to represent it authentically as opposed to just financially. Number 6 is take advantage of Instagram stories to post complementary content to your core pieces of content. So what does this mean? I'll give you guys a specific example from my business. Whenever I post a new YouTube video, instead of just reposting that same clip on Instagram stories, what I'll do is I'll actually hop on Instagram and I will actually give a little bit of a brief of what I'm going to be talking about on today's episode. It's usually a shot of me where I'm saying, hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about XYZ. Check out the link in the description. And what that does is it sort of creates a humanistic connection with the people that I'm reaching out to. I'm letting them know that there's this amazing piece of content that I think is going to benefit them. This is why it's going to benefit them and where they can actually go ahead and watch it, as opposed to just taking a clip from YouTube and reposting it, which can come off as spam. So use your stories in parallel to your core content to push up and to redistribute your content and to get more eyeballs onto those core pieces. Number 7 on the list is going to be take a moment to engage your audience, especially when it comes to posting more day-to-day Instagram story-like posts. Why do you want to do this? Well, number 1, engagement is going to help push your content on the algorithm, right? The more people are engaging, the more they're liking, the more they're replying, the more they're actually posting their poll, or the more they're engaging with whatever slider that you have, the better chance you have of this content seeing or being seen by more eyeballs. At the same time, we understand that brand building is also community focused. When you engage people, when you reach out to them, when you have that one-on-one connection, or when they personally feel that they have an input in terms of the direction of your company, the direction of your products, your branding, your vision, they're going to feel more invested. Connection is a human requirement at our core fundamental level. The reason that we create anything, the reason that we sell products, the reason that most people actually feel compelled to want to purchase from us is that feeling of connection, is that feeling of actually having a problem solved for them. Lean into that, use that to your advantage, connect with people, create a community, get people involved in what you're creating, even if it's on the smallest level. Do not underestimate the value in that. I've seen it personally in my own business, and I've seen it personally in the businesses of the people that are crushing it in the sportswear and the activewear space. So use that to your advantage and go ahead and engage people in your content. Number 8, use the power of giveaways. At the end of the day, who does not like free stuff, right? Everyone likes free stuff. So use that to your advantage to generate more interest and more intrigue into your brand. What I would recommend doing is post a giveaway and add or ask people to do some form of very simple task, whether it's liking the post, sharing it, tagging your friend. This seems disingenuous, but at the end of the day, it's one tool in your large arsenal of tools that I'm trying to give you. And as a starter fashion brand, you need every advantage that you can get. Consider these as mini bullets in your chamber to be able to shoot and to be able to try to hit your target. So at the end of the day, any additional bullet is always welcome. Use giveaways to get people that don't currently know your brand to actually engage. And what my recommendation would be, use a product that you know will sell well. Use a product that is a core component of your actual product range. This is going to get the most amount of people interested, the most amount of people engaged with your content so that they can tag others and they can actually influence others to come visit your page and to be initially exposed to your brand. Who knows? They may or may not turn into lifelong customers down the line. Number 9, and this is an extremely underrated tip, is use email marketing to your advantage. Whenever we talk about email marketing, people think of it as an outdated and an old school type concept, but it's because it's historically been done in that old school way. There are many tools that allow you to get the best out of email marketing, to set up funnels, to set up sort of workflows that lead your customers between email to email, that allow you to automate the process and give you the best possible opportunity to actually engage your customers, to answer their questions, and to get them to purchase from you. The first thing you need to do when it comes to email marketing is to get your emails down. So you need a place to actually be able to collect these emails. Create a form on your website as soon as people land on the page, a pop-up that is very easy to fill out, just their email. And what you're going to want to do to actually convince people or to encourage them to sign up to your email is offer them something in return, right? At FittDesign.com, what we do is we let people get on our website and we offer them this amazing sort of guide on how to create their own tech pack, as well as a highly valuable mini vector mockup pack that most other companies would price at $100, $200, and we're giving it away for free. Why do we do this? Well, we understand that people are going to be better off when they join our email marketing campaign. We want them to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what we do. So we give them something for their email in return, and down the line, we offer continuous value. And when we do have an amazing product that we're ready to offer to our customers, well, we have their emails and we can get to them directly. So as a fashion brand, you will want to entice your customers in one way or another to actually sign up to your email. A completely underrated tip that I see zero fashion brands using is offer a digital product. Most fashion brands try to create physical products because that's the product category that they believe they're in. Well, why not create a digital product, whether it's a workout guide, whether it's a nutrition guide, whether it's a fashion styling guide, right? Think of your industry, think of your niche, and actually offer a digital product that you could have on your website, but also offer a version of it for free in return to your customers. Don't just tell them you're gonna get easy access or access to our products, or you're gonna get 10% discount, because most of the brands are doing this. Give yourself an added edge. Offer them something tangible in return for the email, not just the promise of a discount if they go ahead and make a purchase with you. Sure, that can be a part of it, but think bigger. Number 10, and this is personally my favorite tip. This is a tip that I personally employed into my own business working in the fashion industry, is create an online persona that people can relate with. At the end of the day, as humans, we desire connection. When it comes to building a fashion brand, it can seem disconnected when it's just the brand at the forefront. If you look at a lot of the major players in the space, think of Athlete, think of Gymshark, these are brands that are built off of the backs of the entrepreneurs that actually pushed and created these brands in the early days. Do not underestimate the power of creating a persona, right? Being someone that people can look up to, creating content, putting yourself out there, engaging with your community, showing behind the scenes as a small-time fashion brand owner, showing what it's like in the day in the life, creating vlogs, creating entertaining content, just creating educational content that can position yourself as someone that is worth listening to, and potentially, when you have a product, as a product that is worth buying. This takes a long time, but believe me when I say that the actual results or the fruits that you can outcome from this type of work are endless. It's because it's so difficult. It's because it takes so long. It's because it takes so much effort that you'll notice that 0% or 1% of the competition is actually even close to doing what you're doing. When I look back at my own journey, right, I'm a design agency owner, and I look at so many design agencies and I'm like, okay, you should be creating content. You should be putting yourself out there. You should be educating people. You should be providing all this free value because you believe in what you offer, and allow people to make the decision on whether or not they want to buy from you. I've been creating videos for 4-5 years. I get sometimes 200 views, 300 views on our videos, but we don't do it for the views. What I do it for is the love of creating content and putting myself out there and potentially connecting with 1 or 2 people. That in and of itself is more than enough of a reason for me to continue to do what I do. The same can be true, and the same can be said about you as a fashion brand owner. Show people what it's like to build a business from scratch. Show people what it's like behind the scenes. Show people what it's like to overcome the trials and tribulations. Give them someone that they can gravitate towards, and believe me, they will pay you back tenfold. Just be patient, create the content, be consistent, and keep pushing. Well guys, that is it. That is a wrap on this episode. It's been my 10 key creative ways with honestly almost zero budget to get your name out there, to get people to know what your brand is, to get people that may have never heard of your brand to actually get them to be exposed to your brand for the first time. If you guys enjoyed this content, enjoyed these tips, let me know which of the 10 tips you actually found the most useful below. I always enjoy hearing from you guys. And as always, guys, I offer one-on-one consultation calls every single week. I have limited slots, but if you're a fashion brand owner and you're curious in terms of what it's going to take to get yourself up and running, how to create product that's unique, how to overcome logistical issues, how to find a good manufacturer, how to select the right fabrics for your collection, how to select the type or the right types of pieces for your collection, or even how to scale to the next level, how to digitally market your brand, well, check the link in the description and book a one-on-one consultation with me, and I promise you we can go through all of that together. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of FittDesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.